they say, people who like new wave of British heavy metal, people who are on the new wave of British heavy metal sites, and I go on several of them. There's a Facebook group which is blooming marvellous. And if you like it, and you like new wave of British heavy metal, NWOBHM, then please do have a look at that site, because it's just great. People who are on that site tend to say, and other people who like NWOBHM, and me included, say, well, you know, Diamond Head were a band that should have made it massive, and another band that should have made it massive was Samson, with Paul Samson on guitar and the begimped, masked drummer. I'm not really entirely sure about that, never was, even when I was a kid. Thunderstick on drums, and of course, their vocalist, Bruce Dickinson, or Bruce, as he was called there, Bruce. And they say, well, you know, they should have been more popular than they were. Really, they're well known for Thunderstick and better known for Bruce Dickinson leaving and joining Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden. And then, of course, the rest is history, isn't it? And I've got on YouTube, or rather everyone has, who's got access to YouTube, and I've got a premium subscription, so I've got access to a lot of it. This is on YouTube, and it's rather interesting because it's Reading from 1981, and it's not recorded marvellously. Oh, did you see that? I jogged it with my knee then. Not recorded marvellously. And let's look at those CDs over there. There could be, over there, look, there could be a Samson CD in there. There probably will be several. It's not recorded marvellously. Quite a lot of the time you get, because it's VHS quality. And it's recorded from either side of the stage and from the back. And, got a runny nose. Blimey. If you sort that out with a bit of a snot rag later on, or a handkerchief, as people call them. Those people who are gentlemen, that sort of thing. It's recorded from either side of the stage, but what you do get is the feeling of a band, and I've always said this about Samson, who had reached their zenith. Because people say, well, why weren't they better? Why weren't they more popular, should I say? Why didn't they break out? Because they ain't got the songs, in my view. Really, they were a great band, I think. But when you listen to, you know, Head On and Shock Tactics, and Shock Tactics would just have come out at this time. This is 1981. This is August 1981. I think that came out in May. And this, I mean, that's a great album, but you don't think this is the one that could break them. A lot of people did think that. And even at the time, and I remember it coming out, folks, I'm that old, even at the time, talking to friends, and I was only young, but talking to friends at school, it was, and reading reviews, it was, well, yeah, it's another good album, but there was nothing that made you think, oh my word. Whereas with Iron Maiden, you thought they can kick on from here if they've got a vocalist that is better for them corporately, if you like. I know that people say, you know, Iron Maiden had passion when Paul Di'Anno was there, and that cannot be denied. But corporately, they were not as reliable. I don't think, as a band, generally, not making any comments about Di'Anno, as a band they weren't, and they needed Dickinson to do that, I suspect. What the Dickinson have we here? Well, he's there, front and centre. It's a festival, so you're not going to get, well, look at all the lasers here, and look at all the walkways we can run up and down. But they have real passion, and they have real power. They've not got Thunderstick. He's gone. You've got Mel Gaynor at the back in the on the drums in the orange jumpsuit, and you've got Paul Samson stage right in a really extraordinary pair of white stack-heeled boots. God blimey, folks. It's that kind of period when you're just getting Scar in there, and you just, the Scar, you know, redux feel. And people are still dressing in a kind of 70s way. Certainly that was the way in metal circles. But I'm looking at my notes here because I want to make sure that I get everything, because it's really rather good. They are a band who you feel, from this, I suppose, in hindsight, this was just on the cusp of Dickinson going and joining Iron Maiden and Nicky Moore taking over. And I still love the albums with Nicky Moore. And I interviewed Nicky Moore, actually, didn't I? When he did the project with Manny Cholt, which was called From Behind. It's not an ideal name, but that was a great album, actually. I might have to dig that out and have a look. Got a copy of it. I get sent so much music and books as well. Anyway, this is them, I think, really showing what they can do. And you get the feeling that this is it. Maybe that's with hindsight, but you do get the feeling that, yep, this is where you are. This is, and the great thing about this, it's about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. It's on YouTube, as I say. The great thing is that the I don't know why, but the fans, it's an outdoor festival, Reading, isn't it? The fans are not, or the crowd are not delighted to begin with. By the end of this short set, they really are. So, Dickinson's voice is just cutting through everything. We've got Take It Like a Man, which has got a big groovy feel to it. Great solo. I mean, you cannot deny that you've got Paul Samson in the kind of Kossoff kind of feel. He's got that feeling going on, which is you've got that bluesy but rocky and really, really commercial feel too. But he can certainly spank that plank. I'll tell you that. To use a phrase, very nice. We do get a close up of the big bass and all of that. Close up to his solo and a big bass sounds great. Actually, it's really coming through. And then we get the camera moving to stage right with Nice Girl. Are you a nice girl? It's fast. It's sharp. We focus on a conventionally good-looking woman in the crowd who's just standing there, not really engaged. And that made me think, what about the rest of the crowd? They don't look that engaged either, actually. They don't seem too excited. Yeah. But they move into Bright Lights, which is very agitational. And then Walking Out on You has a very long, it's about 7 or 8 minutes, this, has a very long guitar intro. Crowd are really into that, actually. Long time guitar shenanigans or shenanigan. Very upfront feel. And then we've got Hammerhead. Can you feel the hammerhead in the wind? Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd kind of think of a hammerhead shark, and I'm not quite sure he'd be in the wind. Never mind that. I always thought that whenever I heard that song. It's one of their biggest, isn't it? One of their biggest tracks. It's delivered with no uncertainty here whatsoever. However, at the end of it, Bruce just goes, yeah. As if to say, well, that's that done. The crowd at this point turn and are really into this. And then they're really with them on the final track proper, which is Riding with Angels. They're clapping along. Of course, they come back. And Bruce makes some comments about, we're going to do some older tracks when we came out for the encore, but we're not now. We're going to do a new track, which we just wrote a week ago, called Gravy Train, which is not the best thing to do, is it? You really should be giving more older tracks. It sounded like, maybe this is with hindsight, I'm thinking, ooh, but it sounded like there was some kind of argument and maybe, or discussion, negotiation about what would happen, and we're going to play the new song. It's all right, simple, it's perky. I mean, there's an intro to all the band members. Funnily enough, you get Bruce introducing each band member, crowd are into it, then you'd get someone introducing Bruce, wouldn't you? No intro for Bruce. Nothing. That made me think yet again, maybe there's something going on here. But then that's through the prism of history, isn't it? The prism of history. It was a great band. Samson were a great band. But, you know, I have to say, when people say, why weren't they bigger? Songs weren't there. And I know that Bruce left, and maybe if he'd stayed, it would have got better. But I think we'd already had a few albums then, and the songs weren't there. That's my view. See what you think. New wave of British heavy metal fans. I'm here to be argued with. Ta-ta.